There you go. So, welcome. Obviously, the press release went out, and what I can say beyond that is that this has been an investigation that's been well over a year. We, as far as a motivation for this, it was totally self-serving. It was not driven by politics. It was not driven by race. It was an individual item done by one individual for all three of our major graffiti incidents on our campus. So,
did he say the motive when you say it was not race-related? What?
I really can't go beyond what I said as far as it being self-serving for this one individual.
Okay. How was he identified? Was it through video? Was it through a tip?
The identity of this individual came through looking at a number of resources. Video was part of that investigation. Some interviews with different people. We conducted over 60 interviews with different people, and information came out of some of those interviews.
Is the investigation ongoing? Is there another? Do you think this was an individual acting by himself, or are there other suspects that you're considering, or do you consider this to be the end of the matter?
Yeah, we consider this individual to be the one and only individual involved in this matter. That's what we've determined through our investigation.
With the incidents dating back to last fall and then one in the spring, with such a large gap in time between then and now, were there any key breakthroughs that allowed you to identify this individual this fall, nearly a year removed from when the original incidents took place?
Well, other than talking briefly about mentioning the video, beyond that, I really don't want to get into the actual investigation. All of that will come out at the court and the trial.
The student mentioned in the release was a former student. Were they a student at the time that the incidents in the last fall took place?
No, he was not.
Okay.
Do we know why he left?
I think he was involved in some other activity that's not related to anything related to this case. Why he left beyond that, I really can't comment on.
Like crime activity, or?
Just other activity that I really.
Well, the news release specifies that he was he's actually in prison on another matter.
Yeah.
And so that may affect the timing of when he was no longer a student.
Yeah.
Did somebody receive the $10,000 reward for information offered?
No.
Were students interviewed throughout this process of the investigation, and were they helpful in providing any information and leading to the arrest?
Like I said, we interviewed over 60 different people and got information from a number of people. Whether they were students or not, I'm not going to say at this time.
Can you confirm the race of the individual?
The race is an African American male.
Can that change how, you mentioned that things won't change, but can that change the perception on campus on how you move forward?
No, moving forward, we have a very aggressive, assertive plan in place to continue working with our student leaders, with our faculty and staff, to create a more welcoming community, and those, as I said, those will continue.
Do you know what years he was a student here?
2014 through 16.
Early 2016.
Early 16.
So
EMU, before the incidents happened.
Right.
Yes.
So EMU is pressing charges specifically. What are those charges? Can you talk about that?
Well, we submitted our case to the prosecutor. We got 4 charges for identity theft. We got 1 charge for use of a computer and commission of a crime, I believe. And we got 3 malicious destruction of property charges based on the graffiti that was on our buildings.
What was the identity theft charge?
There were several identity thefts, 4 of them.
Were those tied to the graffiti, or were they just
These are separate.
They were,
Separate
they
to-
came up through the investigation. So in talking to, and through the course of our investigation, we determined that there were some individuals involved that we wanted to talk to. We talked to them, and the more we engaged in conversation with them, the more we came to realization that this individual was involved with identity theft.
Of those people that you wanted to talk to?
Yes,
So you had some sort of inkling that person X was involved, you went to talk to person X, they had an alibi or something that made you think, no, they weren't involved, but this other person
yes,
is the charge of.
yeah.
The identity theft isn't directly related to the racial graffiti.
No, it's not.
And everything, it's just completely separate.
Yes, it is.
So if he was a student until the fall of 2016, was he,
He was a student till spring of 16.
spring 2016?
Right, he was
Maybe
gone.
not the full
Oh, I
spring
see,
term.
okay.
I think he was gone early in 2016.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So there were many in the community that thought you would never capture this person or identify. What message does this send out?
Well, it sends a message that the university takes these things very seriously. And we don't just address them on one day and let them go. We dedicated, we have over 1,000 hours invested in this entire investigation. Basically came out to, 135 work days that we continued. We take this very seriously. We want the community to know that we're going to follow through on everything that we possibly can. And this, I mean, we're talking almost 13, 14 months it took us. So we were gonna let it go. We would have let it go many months ago. And obviously, we were very concerned that this happened on our community, because this is not our campus. This is not who we are. So we want people to know that we're here to support our students and our faculty and our staff. There's great police work, no doubt about it. And all that will come out in court.
Mhm.